Hey, what's going on, everybody? Movie Phantom here, and yeah, I don't know what the fuck's up with the computer right now. It is acting weird. Not really the computer, I don't know. Maybe just it's YouTube in general, but I've been trying to knock these out once a day. And yesterday, around the same time as today, actually, around 3:30ish or so, I did my Tuesday top three. Finished it up, and it's weird because on my old computer, it took forever to upload. Like it would fucking take almost half a day. Not exaggerating at all. It would take like between 8 to 12 hours to just upload a video. But then once it uploaded, it'd go to the processing, and it would just knock that out within 30 seconds to a minute. Just boom, process done. It's on there. For some reason, I got this new laptop. It's the opposite. Like it will upload anywhere between 5 to 10, 15 minutes maybe. Some of my longer, rants go a little bit longer, but for the most part, I can, get knocked out quickly. But the processing, it gets frozen, and it just gets stuck there, and it just keeps going and going, and that's all it is. And I have no idea why it's doing that or whatnot. Now, typically, it'll process for fucking ever. Like, I'm talking 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, and then it'll just, magically click over. Sometimes less. Sometimes, I'll fucking around on the computer and it'll just flip over by itself, and I'm like, okay. A lot of times you can just kind of force it, like even when you get no picture there, like it's still processed. You just publish it anyways, and it kind of forces it to do it. It works, but for some reason yesterday it would not. So literally all night I kept going to check it. I'd wake up middle of the night, go check on it, still processing, couldn't get it go over. This morning before I went to work, literally it did it while I was at work, and she went ahead and took care of it for me, got it published and everything. So that is why don't think like the Phantom's just taking another crazy hiatus. No, it wasn't like that. I had it up, I had it ready to go. It wasn't going nowhere. So I don't know what the deal was. It's up now. I uploaded, it was published today. So yeah, Tuesday top three. So there you go. It was a pain in the ass to get it going, but we finally did. Well, that was Tuesday. Today, you know what I think it was? I think I made a leprechaun crack, and the fucking leprechaun cursed me yesterday, you little bastard. But today is Wednesday, and we'll be responding to some viewer comments here, and some questions and whatnot. My boy Ghostface Kid hit me up, and he gave me a series of 4 questions here. First, he asked the question, could I honestly take a life? Wow, we're getting serious now. It's fucking, oh man. Let me think here. And he said it wouldn't, not necessarily like in self-defense, just like legit, like I'm gonna go out, I can get away with it, could I do it? I think the reason's there. I think anybody is capable. I think even people you wouldn't think would be down to do it. I think anybody at any moment in their life, and under the right circumstances, I think anybody can do it. Because right now, I feel like the only way I would ever, break bad on somebody, because I'll be the first to admit I am not a tough guy at all. I'm a fucking fat fuck who sits on a couch and watches. This is what you guys see is pretty much what I do, for the most part. So it's like I don't pretend to be a badass like that. But I think if you came after, my family, my girlfriend, something like that, yeah, I would definitely flip out, and but I'd have to be smart about it, because it'd be like, well, I can't clearly beat anybody up, so what's the next best thing? Or ball back the head, and then you drag him off, and you do some weird Saw shit. But I feel like if that ever came, you would never. I don't know. I think for me personally, I would just have vengeance on my mind. It wouldn't be a whole let's torture him. I'd shoot him, and it's horrible to say, but I think that'd be my way out right there. I'd be like, fuck it, problem solved. I'm not saying that's correct. That's not how you should solve your problems. But I feel like if I was ever put in a situation where I actually had to think, I gotta take someone out, But it would take a lot to get me to that point, anyways. It'd have to be my loved ones are in danger for me to actually break into that. Typical road rage, or I get in an argument with somebody, or even a fucking fist fight. I think my ass is just stomped. I'm not gonna go out and try to find a gun and kill the guy. Fuck it, I tried, I got beat up, and I'm down. And now if it continued, the guy keeps coming back, I don't know, I'll do something else. I would not kill him though. I think I'd blast him in the kneecap or something. Be like, all right, how'd that feel, dick? But you know he's a dick. I mean, clearly he's a dick if he's attacking me, you know, so I'm justified. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you're pushed, you know, you'd be amazed what you'll commit, but I'd have to be pushed. That's it. I wouldn't just willy-nilly like, hey fam, you get a free kill. I'm like, oh shit, let's cash it in. Pick that guy. And then, you know, no, I couldn't do that. I'd have to be under some kind of circumstance like that, so. And the next question kind of goes with it. I mean, in a way, not, you know, but he asked, would I ever get a permit to be able to legally carry a weapon? For me personally, as of right now, no. I feel like if I ever need a weapon, the reason I'm going to need it will be for me to cross a line. So, permit's not going to happen anyways. I feel like if I'm ever pushed to that, you know, fucking line, I'm going to get a gun. I'll get it illegally. I will go, you know, to my nearest big city and buy it on the black market or whatever, and then take care of, you know, whatever business I have there. So, I mean, because I'm not anti-carrying concealed weapons. I mean, if, you know, you're right, hey, that's cool. For me personally, I have no reason to carry a gun or a knife or whatever on me. I just don't have no reason right now. I feel like if, like, that revolution ever comes, like, if we literally, like, if everybody's thrown over to the government, and I'm not gonna lie, I will jump in on that. Like, I ain't gonna say I'm gonna lead it. I'm not rallying people to do it. I'm just saying, like, the revolution's already in full swing. Government's coming down. The fans just going to jump on the bandwagon. I will be the first to admit it. And at that point, do we really need a permit? Probably not. So I'm good. That's how I mean, if I'm being completely honest, that's honestly how I am. So yeah, I would never get a permit, you know, at all. I just don't need one. As of right now, I buy all my meat at the store, you know, so I don't have to hunt or anything. And once again, I feel like if the time comes where I am forced to hunt, like literally it's like, you know, Phantom, the economy's horrible and you can no longer just go to a grocery store, you gotta hunt now. Once again, I'm like, well, fuck the permit. Like, I'm doing this for survival at this point. I'm not worried about permit, you know. I will gun down the cop who's questioning me in the middle of the woods and I'll eat his ass. I mean, let's face it. For me to get a permit, there's no reason to. I'm basically saying. I'm not saying there's never a reason we have a weapon, but there's no reason for me to have a permit, so. If that makes sense, I'm clear. Up next, he said, how would I want to go out in a horror movie? If I was to be killed off in a horror movie, how would I want to be killed off? Man, the most spectacular, brutal death ever. Like, I mean, well, it's a movie. You know, I get to walk off set at the end of the day and be like, well, that was fun. I'm not in real danger, so yeah, if it's for a movie, dude, kill me off in the most gruesome, like, I want zombies tearing me apart as Jigsaw's fucking torturing me. And I got, like, you know, Michael Myers with a knife coming out. I mean, I want it to be just, I want to be ripped apart. I want to be fucking, I want, like, my remains to just be scattered on the screen, and then you just see my face. Like, not even my head, just my face. Oh, dude, the goriest, bloodiest fucking Torah. I think I want to be like an assault contraption, actually, more I'm thinking about it. But, like, one of the ones where, like, I'm getting screwed over, like, you know, like the chick in part 3 where she's got to get the key, it's in the acid, and there's clearly just no way to get out of it anyways. I want that kind of thing, just, but more of an explosion. I just want to be ripped apart. So, yeah. And finally, he asked, what is my favorite underrated slasher movie? You know, I mean, I truly think it is underrated. Because, I mean, even though when it hit, and it even spawned a sequel, I don't hear too many people talk about it right now. It's almost like it just kind of got pushed aside. And that is Laid to Rest. And I got to thank you, Ghostface Kid, for that one. Because I would have never watched it if it wasn't for you, you know, recommending it to me. But yeah, I'm going to say Laid to Rest. Because, I mean, once again, I mean, it did make an impact when it showed up. But then it just kind of went away. Like, no one's talking about it. I would love to see, I mean, I haven't seen the sequel yet, the Chrome Skull, Laid to Rest 2. But I'm like, fuck it. I would love to see it part 3. Like, I feel like it was that, you know, the first one was that good that I'm okay if they want to make like 12 sequels. Go Friday 13th with it and just crank them out once a year. I'd be okay with that. I really would be. So yeah, I'm gonna say mine would be Laid to Rest. I feel like it definitely gets recognition here and there. However, not enough, which would be underrated. So thank you, Ghostface Kid. I appreciate it. Jimmy Maggot wanted to ask, what was my top 5 hard rock albums? Top 5. Now, here's my problem with albums in general is Like, when I was a kid, I grew up mostly listening to classic rock. But I never listened to actual albums because they was always on greatest hits. Because, like, I grew up in the 90s. So all the bands from the 60s, 70s, and 80s I listened to, I wasn't listening to the new shit they popped out with. I was listening to, like, their greatest hits because that's what was available at the time. And I do love, and of course when I, got older, got my own, acquired my own taste, I do love, hard rock. But it's kind of the same thing. Like, a lot of the bands that I listen to, I usually kind of wait till get, or in our day and age, we don't do albums anymore. You just download the songs you want. But I did put together a brief list here, and you're going to definitely tell the age I am because they're all kind of in the same, era there. But no particular order. I'm just going to kind of bust them off the top of my head here. But number one would be Antichrist Superstar, Marilyn Manson. Dude, I fucking love that album. Like, that's the epitome of Marilyn Manson right there to me. Yeah, ashamed he doesn't, go back to that more often. I don't know what the fuck he's doing now. I can't do the whiny emo Manson that he's done for the past 5 albums or whatever. I can't do that. I miss fucking, I miss my shock rocker, so. I would say, man, my number 2, I guess I'll go with, and they're both pretty good. I'll go Dragula, the Hellbilly Deluxe, Rob Zombie. Dragula's the one on that one. Sinister Urge is really good, and even Hellbilly Deluxe 2 I thought was solid, like all the way through. I'll go with the first one though. I'll go Hellbilly Deluxe. I think it's one of those just ultimate fucking albums like listen to all the way through. Number 3, I'm gonna go. I'm going old school, but I know I have a lot of friends. I'm friends with the lead singer of Open Grave, Simon Terrell, and we always, when I'm around him and like that crew, and you say hard rock, it is kind of like, I consider hard rock. That's not hard. That's not heavy. This is heavy. They play some horrible Cannibal Corpse or some shit like that. Not a fan of Cannibal Corpse. Sorry, it's not. But like AC/DC, I would say Back in Black is probably the best AC/DC album, bar none. Like, it's just got that's an album. Once again, put it on and listen all the way through. So I'll throw AC/DC's Back in Black in there. Now this one, this ain't really a heavy hitter, I guess, but it's a personal favorite of mine. I was a big fan of Power Man 5000's, it had When Worlds Collide on it. Tonight the Stars Revolt. Loved it. Fucking get amped listening to that shit. So, yeah, I'll throw that on the list as well, number 4. And then for my 5th one, I want to throw some Ozzy on there. And see, one of my favorite Ozzy albums it had more of a softer tone to it. But I loved Osmosis. Like, I love Perry Mason. Like, that opening, fucking track was just awesome. I believe that was on Osmosis, Perry Mason. Alright, I'm going to say Ozzy Osbourne's Osmosis. I'm pretty sure I had Perry Mason as the opening track, but if I'm wrong, don't hold it against me. So there you go, my top 5 right there. I could have went Manson easily. I could have went Hollywood and Mechanical Animals, and I would even fucking throw Portrait of an American Family on there. But I was like, I don't want to throw 4 Mansons on there, and that just throw up 2 Rob Zombies or whatever. Because Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson are my 2 favorites. Like, they're just fucking awesome. But I wanted to diversify for you. So there you go, Jimmy Maggot. Thank you for the question. 13 Wolfman chimed in. He said, I did his question of the week video response, and he mentioned, he goes, I want to hear what the others have to say. Once again, I will completely, I'll throw it at them, and next time I actually have on the show, they can answer it. But yeah, right now the way we're doing this new thing, they only come by like once a week or so. So, and it just happened that they showed up, when I did the reviews instead of the question of the week. And then Maya didn't really want to respond because she didn't really know any rockers. And I was like, well, I'm sure 13 Wolfman would let you slide if you went in. And I'm sorry, people don't know what I'm talking about. The question was, what rocker would you like to see enter into, horror movies? And I said Marilyn Manson. I just went through that big Manson speech earlier. Because I think he'd be great, writer, director. I think that'd be fucking awesome right there. But whenever we asked Maya, she's just like, I was like, well, what you want to do this video with me? She's like, no, because, I don't know any rockers. I'm like, well, I'm sure he'd let you slide some country. But yeah, she's like, no, it won't count. So she just stayed off. So, and once again, the corn children just weren't there when I released the video. So next time I have him on the show, I'll ask him. I'll tell you right now, Billick is a huge Manson fan. So I'll tell you right now, he's gonna go definitely go Manson, and I'm sure the other ones will have ridiculous. Except for I don't know, Misery Black has the most like. Her taste is so fucking. It's ridiculous. Like it's just so up its own ass. Like she clearly just picks shit the most random sounding band. I'm sure I was the same way when I was her age, but now I'm older and I listen like she's like this band's the greatest, and I'm like I can't even pronounce what that band's called. Fuck them, they're garbage. So I'm sure she's gonna pick out some weird shit. So there you go, my man. I'll definitely try to get those answers to you. And speaking of Simon Terrell, I dropped his name earlier, lead singer of Open Grave. He hit me up and. He said I need to start checking out some Necrophagia music videos. He said that each of their music videos is basically like little mini horror movies. Now, I've heard some Necrophagia. I'm not huge on it. It's just not my kind of music. But I'm always down for mini horror movies. So, you know what? I may have to go check that shit out. So, the only thing I know about Necrophagia is the lead singer is Killjoy. Talked to him briefly at Days of the Dead, actually, back when we went through that. And he was in August Underground 2. I don't know if he's in the third one. I haven't seen the third one, but I know he's in part 2. And I like him, and I thought he did really good in that. So I don't know. I may check out these music videos, Simon. So there you go, my man. Andrew Beaver hit me up, and I love this is my favorite question. This is what I'm excited to answer right here. He asked if let's just say, and here's a scenario he dropped for me. You know, like fucking Warner Brothers come up to me, and they're just like, Phantom. We're gonna give you the choice of we're remaking The Shining. Like, it's going to happen one way or another. Now, if you refuse, and this is what he picked, these are his words, not mine. If you refuse, we're going to let Michael Bay direct it and have Sean William Scott play the Jack Torrance character. Which I like Stifler, but yeah, we definitely not cast him for that role. So he's like, so you get the choice. You can either let them do it, which would be fucking horrible, or you can come up with your own remake. And I love this question. I love playing this kind of game where it's like, you had to recast. I love recasting movies. So I thought about it. I was like, well, who would I do this with? So first, and he goes, he wants me to cast the main cast, and then he wants me to pick a writer and director. So whenever I think of just writing and directing off the bat, I always think of Quentin Tarantino. And so I threw him in my mind already. Now, I was like, I want to split it up, and I was like, and I don't want Tarantino to direct without a script. Like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to see Tarantino work on someone else's script, so I was like, okay, I'll let Tarantino write. But then when I picked my director, it just wasn't a good clash of styles for me. Like, I love both independently, but I feel like if you put these guys together, it just wouldn't turn out great. The director I'm talking about is Christopher Nolan. I feel like, he almost is like Kubrick reincarnated in a way. And that's the reason I'm giving him the job. I'd be like, I want Nolan to direct. But then I wouldn't want him to direct a Tarantino script. So I was like, all right, as much as I love QT, I got to kick him to the side for right now. I'll bring him back for another movie some other time. So I would have Christopher Nolan direct, and then I'd have Christopher Nolan and Jonathan Nolan team up on a script together. And that would be my writing team right there. So now I got my writer and director picked. Going on to the cast. Now for Danny Torrance, I'm just going to give me a kid. I don't give a fuck. Any kid will work. Just give me an unknown, because I don't know any child actors that would be around that age that would work for this. So I've already thrown that to the side. The Scatman Crothers character, Dick Halloran. Yeah. I would have Morgan Freeman, because it's a small fucking role. And I feel like, it's a supporting role, clearly, but, it's small enough. But Morgan Freeman's one of those actors that he can take a small role and just make it fucking awesome. Like, Lucky Number 11, he has a very small part as, like, he's one of the crime bosses. But he does also, like, he takes what little bit he has on screen. Like, he ain't on screen very much, and he fucking runs with it. The Dark Knight trilogy, good example. He's only on, I forget his name, Fox. He's Lucius Fox. Once again, not a huge role. I mean, he's on there, he's got, a few scenes, but for the most part, it's a small role, and yet he takes it and runs with it. So, I want that guy to kind of stand out, and I feel like Morgan Freeman's just one of those guys that, I don't know, even, like, he does a lot of shit. Like, he's almost like Sam Jackson, in that sense that he's almost in, like, every fucking movie. And And yet he always turns in a great performance, like Sam Jackson. I could have just threw Sam Jackson there, I guess, but I'm sticking with Morgan Freeman. I'm going Morgan Freeman. I want him to be my cook. The cook with the shining, if you will. So yeah, I'm going Morgan Freeman there. And fuck, you know what? I just said Sam Jackson. I want Sam Jackson. I'm sorry, scratch that. Yeah, because when I started comparing him to Sam Jackson, I was like, well, fuck, Sam Jackson would be perfect for that role. I want Sam Jackson, so I'm going to go Sam Jackson. Sorry, Morgan Freeman. I'll put you over there, Quentin Tarantino. We'll cast you guys in something else. All right, so Sam Jackson's going to be my dick. So yeah, I don't make a racist big penis joke, and I take the high road. The fan will take the high road. Anyways, for Wendy, I'm going to go with Jessica Chastain. And not just because she has a previously working relationship with Christopher Nolan, I just think she's a damn good actress. Now, normally, whenever I'm recasting a female role, I always go with Julianne Moore. She is my favorite actress. I think she's just phenomenal. But she is getting up there in age right now. And I'm not saying, like, I mean, clearly when, Nicholson and Shelley Duvall did this, they weren't, spring chickens. I get that. But, the book had them younger. And I'm not saying, like, we have to go buy the book. In fact, I'm just going to say, Nolan, whatever the fuck you want to do with this, do what you want. I trust you. If you want, fuck Stephen King, piss him off all you want, because, fuck him. He's still whining and bitching and moaning about the first Shining, so fuck him, I don't give a shit. Do what you want. I trust you. However, I feel like I would cast them a little bit younger, because they were definitely, younger in the book. They weren't like, teenagers, but, they were youngish. So I want to go, I think Jessica Chastain could do that. And then, I'm a toss-up between Ed Norton and Leo DiCaprio. And they're my fallback guys. Like, literally, you can put them in any role, and they fucking fit. They really do. I'm going to go Ed Norton. I'm going to go Ed Norton in the Jack Torrance role. Because he's an actor. Like, Johnny Depp, I think, is a great actor. But he's one of those guys that, you can just sense he's Johnny Depp in each of these roles. Like, there's a little bit of Johnny Depp in each role he does. And on top of that, he's dressed up. So even like when he's painted up in a different way, it's like it's still Johnny Depp. Not saying he's a bad actor. He's great, but it's still fucking Johnny Depp. Ed Norton's one of those guys who, he doesn't fucking dress up. Like, the guy is like Ed Norton. He's fucking, he looks like, he doesn't change it. And yet, he puts himself in those roles perfectly to where he is someone different. American History X. His character in American History X is completely different from the character in Fight Club. And they're so similar. And they're both fucking, buffish and whatever, but it's like two different roles. I mean, he delivers differently, you know what I'm saying? I think Ed Norton's one of the best actors of our this generation right here. He's one of my favorites. So I'm gonna go Ed Norton. So there you go. Christopher Nolan's directing it. Christopher and Jonathan Nolan's writing. Ed Norton, Jessica Chastain, and then Samuel L. Jackson. So, but Sam Jackson has to dial it back. He can't be badass Sam Jackson because it just won't work. So he has to drop it down a little bit. But yeah, he can do it. He's a good actor. He can do it too. So. Thank you, my man. That was an awesome one. And finally, this is just a comment. I got a new guy who's watching my show named Josh Hobbs. And he commented on, I did the news on Monday. And he said, great stuff, sir. Thank you very much, my man. I appreciate that. I appreciate any kind of compliment or, comments regarding, my stuff. So, thank you very much. I want to thank everybody who participated with the comments. It means a lot to me. I love it. So you guys got comments, questions, and don't necessarily be about, what we talked about today. You can just ask fresh ones. Or throughout the week, you see something you see something I say or whatever, you want to comment about that, go right ahead. Comments are down below. You guys can drop me some video responses, I'm always up for that. If you follow me on Facebook or Twitter, hit me up with questions over there. I'll take questions, comments. I'll take your hate mail. I have not had any trolls in a while. I would, love to have some hate mail on here. Don't have to be horror related. We could do non-horror. I remember, in fact, that very last show, like before the hiatus, the last episode I dropped out there, I was asked, my favorite fast food. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, anything, not just me. You got questions for any of my, guests. The Corn Children, Misery, Maya. Man with No Name, El Blanto, the list goes on and on. I've somehow acquired a cast. It's ridiculous, but I do have the Phantom, family, if you will. So you got questions for them, comments, whatever the case may be, feel free to ask. I am the Mood Phantom, and I'll catch you later.